At the foot of the Mount of Olives lies the Garden of Gethsemane, or Olive Grove, an area already regularly visited by Jesus and his disciples before the Passion of Christ. St. John writes that this garden, just above the Kidron Valley, was our Lord's favourite retreat, and Luke writes, Jesus went out as usual to the Mount of Olives. It is still possible to admire centuries-old olive trees next to the Franciscan Basilica, which is also known as the Basilica of the Agony. It is the sanctuary of the first sorrowful mystery of the Rosary and takes in two areas, the church and the Grotto of Gethsemane, where Jesus experienced what was perhaps the most painful episode of his passion, where he knew profound sadness, sorrowful unto death, that intense prayer, and perspiration like drops of blood. The first basilica here was built by the Byzantines in about 379. It was destroyed by the Persians in 641 and rebuilt by the Crusaders in the 12th century. The present church is the work of the distinguished Italian architect Antonio Barluzzi, and is also known as the Church of All Nations, because 16 countries contributed to the cost of its construction. In front of the altar is what remains of the Stone of Agony. In laying the foundations, fragments of a mosaic pattern from the Byzantine church were found, and these were skillfully reproduced in the floor of the church of today. This further pilgrimage, of those which the Franciscans make in Lent, was characterized by a mass attended by local Christians and pilgrims who surely empathized with the agony of Jesus in listening to the gospel which relates this. The celebrant was Friar Vittorio Bosello, and in his homily he recalled the words of Jesus, "Watch and pray, lest you fall into temptation. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak." Our life, he said, is filled with many things, and so we need silence in which to listen to the Lord and find somewhere where we can stay with him.
First we have to say that Jesus came here each time he left the temple in order to pray, and also to rest with his disciples. It was for them a familiar place. Here everyone abandoned him, and alone he begged the Father to spare him the agony, but said, "Not mine, but your will be done."
Ma la tua volontà, o Padre, io devo fare.
It seems as if there is a special grace which emanates from this rock, inspiring anyone who kneels beside it to remember the words of Jesus, "Stay here and watch with me." The next event at Gethsemane will be on Holy Thursday, April the 21st, when the custodian of the Holy Land, Friar Pier Battista Pizzaballa, will preside over a solemn commemoration of the agony in the garden.